he had this sexy beard coming out, and you showed me those videos where the triangle comes and you shoot just above the beard and the chest. I'm like, that's where I'd put it. If I were I'd just back tension. I'm visualizing, and that's where and then whack.
Oh, so this really happened? Oh my God, dude! How am I finding out about this?
Well, yes,
dude,
it was pretty top secret.
I drilled that sucker.
It was another decoy, I promise you.
This is what I've learned about turkeys. They're the dumbest animals on the planet and the smartest animals on the planet at the same time.
I had an absolute blast hunting with Jordan. Yeah. One, because he is lighthearted the entire time.
Hype man.
He's the hype man. We're having fun, you know?
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
It is. It
truly is.
And it's turkey hunting. You can't take it too seriously, you know?
No, they don't have souls.
It's kind of a filler in the spring, you know?
But, man, every one. It doesn't matter if I kill it or not. I get just as jacked.
Yeah. So our camp got 2 real turkeys and 1 decoy.
It goes, whack! And David Yostin's like, what? He's looking around. The best way to get started is just to rip the Band-Aid off and go for it.
Do it.
All right, folks. Welcome to the Gritty Bowmen podcast. We are at the Soggy Bottom Ranch.
It's the Shallow Water Ranch.
The shallow.
What did he call it?
Sorry.
The Soggy Bottom.
The Soggy Bottom. I like that.
The Shallow Water Ranch in Texas. Sloane Ranch. And we're hunting turkeys down here. And I've got with me our resident turkey expert, Mike Massey.
The turkey whisperer himself.
The interpreter.
Yeah.
Interpreter.
And we talked about this, Mike. You're an expert in to us. Yeah, but there's a lot of people who know more about turkeys than you do. But for us, you're kind of the god of turkeys.
All right. Okay. I'll go with it.
So I've learned a lot today, this week, with Mike here.
You guys have spent a lot of time together in close quarters.
This is
and then
super close quarters in the little 3x3.
I want to get to Mike in a minute. But before we do that, I want to introduce the other guests. We have Jordan Harbertson, Mountain Ops. Most people have heard on the podcast. And I've also got here to my left Sloane Brown, who's from...
You say it right.
Brokeback Media. Backbone Media.
Backbone Media. Say it right.
And
his name is Sloane Dog Millionaire.
Sloane Dog Millionaire. And we are at Sloane's place here in Texas, family's place.
At Soggy Ranch.
And it's, folks, it's Texas, but it's not high fence. This is free-range turkey hunting.
Yeah, in barren wasteland.
That's right.
It's
pump jacks and dirt roads.
And dirt roads.
Never seen a place like it.
It is so awesome.
It is.
This is everything that I have. You've hunted Texas before, have you?
He's been here before.
This is I shot my
first archery whitetail.
I totally forgot.
Bam.
So when you came here, is this what you imagined hunting Texas would be like?
Yes.
This is exactly what I thought it would be like.
Yeah.
I love this place.
I always say this. It's a ranch, but it feels wild here.
I didn't even know we were on a ranch. I didn't even know.
It just looks like nothing.
Speaking of that, where's your
sorry, Sloane.
Where's the closest high fence around here?
Please.
Can you,
I don't know, but we did have a deer show up on trail cam this year with a tag in his ear.
Ah, okay, so he's not too far.
Some escape.
A couple miles.
Some escape.
Whatever.
So, anyway, Mike.
It's awesome.
Quickly.
Yeah, talk to me.
Tell us a little bit about you. What's your background?
Background.
How old are you?
Born and raised, 39. From South Florida. Did a little traveling, a little this.
Yes.
Got into business real young. Owned a construction company back home.
Yep.
And I've been hunting since I was a young guy. Grew up fishing in South Florida. My dad was a guide, owned tackle companies. And
how'd you learn turkey hunting?
Oh, gosh. I'll tell you what. I think the first time I turkey hunted, I think I was 22, 23 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I got back. I was living in Hawaii, came back, started getting put away the surfboard, and was getting down. I wanted to do some hunting.
Yeah.
And that's where it was all about. So it took me a couple years to even kill a bird. Be quite honest with you. It was a learning. I learned everything as much as I could from other people.
We got to get into, I want to talk turkeys, but at some point, probably tomorrow, we got to get into Mike's life a little bit because he's been bit by a shark. 2 different sharks on 2 different occasions. Those are nice scars, by the way. And
struck by lightning
twice. It's just
it's been unique.
by lightning?
All things in twos.
Actually, about 4 times. Yeah, I've been hitting
now
the
he's
boat.
just showing off.
Yeah,
4 times. I'm practically
you
Zeus.
want me? Listen, I'm here to tell the truth, guys. We don't
Dang
do
lightning
this
rod.
fibbing
The no
stuff.
spin zone.
Yes, I have. So
And for folks who don't know, Mike has a pretty good sense of humor. And when you get him jacked up on blaze shots, not enough blaze shots, a lot comes out like freely.
listen, this is
You also
this
turn
was-
lobster red.
Yeah. All right,
We're
let's
not
talk
even
about
in
this real
sign.
quick, okay? So, cyanin, what?
Niacin.
Niacin, okay. Well, I got
Cyanide.
it. Whatever it is.
Cyanide?
Niacin flush.
Man, listen, I'm red complexion as it is, but this took me to a lobster red, and I just couldn't shut up. I couldn't shut up. Man. It was a good thing to have in a blind when you're sitting probably.
Yeah, and you're sitting
10
next
hours a
to
day.
somebody who likes to interview.
Very much
so,
so.
Oh, I had so many
your
questions.
On the
guys'
spot.
story was so funny.
Good times, man. Good times in the blind.
Yes. So,
much so.
we have been here for 4 or 5 days. 4 days. This is day 3.
This is full
3
day
and a half.
3. Yeah, 3
but,
and a half.
And the only person in camp that's killed a turkey is Jordan Harbertson,
Not only one,
who
but
has
2
killed
turkeys.
actually 2 turkeys just to put salt in our wound.
1.5.
And it's Jake, so
Half,
Okay.
yeah,
it's kind
Jake
of
counts as
after,
half a
right,
star.
right.
But we've had our chances.
We've had some opportunities. We had to do our quick scouting trip.
Yes.
And we've had to get going on that mission.
So
That's what we did.
My observation from this hunt went like this: we showed up at camp, and Mike's like, "Okay, as the turkey expert, he has got to figure out where the turkeys are, where they're roosting.
Yeah, that's
That's key,
that is key.
and
You
then
start
from there, figure out how to hunt them." So we did that. We figured out where we got some eyes on some turkeys briefly.
Yeah,
we
we
saw
sat-
which
we
direction
sat
they were
in the
going
evening.
just before dark.
Sloane pointed us to say, "Hey, you guys, this is a great spot. Look at all the tracks. Great place to start. It's an evening. Let's see if they're having a little pattern here."
It's one of 6 trees on the ranch. We can figure it out.
So that's the other part of it.
Sloane.
It's a sea
I'm
of
the expert here.
sorry. Nothingness, and then one stand of tall trees. So we found, as hard as that sounds, the roosting tree.
We did.
And spotted the birds. So the next day we got to a high point. We watched the birds. We saw them.
Right.
They're gobbling in the morning. They flew down, and we could watch them from the high point. And we almost called a hot tom. Is that what you call him, a hot tom?
Well, he was definitely hot. I would believe he was a subordinate because you had
Yeah.
your dominant Tom over with all the ladies across the creek, and he's over there strutting and gobbling his head off, saying, "Hey, ladies, look at this flex." You know, I mean, that's how it is. So
Shaking his
what do I
booty.
do?
It was like a guy at the gym.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep. Just right in front of the mirror as he's taking a
So
selfie.
basically,
Look at this.
I was looking at him.
Chicks.
Just like, yeah.
Girls for the girls.
I was looking at him through my binos, and I
This
could
was
see,
cool.
like 400 yards away,
Yeah.
that as soon as Mike got on the box call and started just ripping it,
Just
yeah.
let me here's some of this.
yeah, he started gobbling, and he started strutting back and forth, and he totally locked onto us.
Yeah.
We're a long way away, and the
I
wind's
was so
whipping pretty
pumped
hard.
up, man. Here you are.
My
on
first time.
First time turkey hunting.
First
and we got
time.
a fired up Tom down on the bottom. He's cutting me off my calls. That's something you typically hear. He cuts you off. When he cuts you off, that means business.
Yep.
And sure enough, I think it was, he started at 350, 400 yards. Within, I don't even think it was a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, we were jacked. I
came-
still, every bird that comes in hot, listen, I still get all shook up.
What I
love
saw
it.
was him
I
doing the
love it.
stupid dance, back and forth, shaking like retard. And can you use that word?
Yes.
Okay. And then next thing you know, he's like, I can't take it. And it was like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And he dropped his wings and he just ran toward us. I was
Here
like,
you come.
are you kidding?
Yeah.
Turkey hunting's easy.
And what happened next?
He came to 60 yards and it looked like he was just going to come right to us. But unfortunately,
My heart sank.
another band of turkeys with a big
It
tom.
was that same flock that was over on the
Yeah.
west side of the creek.
They sort of popped up
You call it a crick when you're turkey
a crick,
hunting.
Crick.
and he
Texas
gobbled
style.
the more dominant one with all the hens, which distracted our bird who was almost on us, and he whipped his head around and saw that bird, and he ran after that one. And I don't even know if he realized that's a different bird or the same bird.
Yeah, no. It was.
I mean, this is what I've learned about turkeys. They're the dumbest animals on the planet and the smartest animals on the planet at the same time. Like David Yostin tonight, he's the photographer here. He's like, these are the smartest dumb animals I've ever seen.
He's cracked it up. Listen, dude, that is the closest to the truth that you can even talk about a turkey. Because the thing has got a brain about the size of your pinky.
Yeah.
And these things can outwit you. You know, they're on a pattern. We're trying to cut these guys off. And here we are. We had them figured out. We had a little game plan. Hey, we're going to go back out. We're going to go see what these birds do. We got cut. This Tom cut us off. Nothing we could do. Started running this way, and my heart sank. Here Gritty is over here, and I'm thinking, get your bow, get ready. This is going to happen, and we're all jacked up. I mean, he's going, dude, I did not know I was going to get this jacked. Look at me. I'm like, yeah, we got Gritty hooked, and it didn't happen.
And then he turned around and ran away, didn't he?
So he saw. I don't know. I'm thinking what happened, and it happened a lot quicker than I thought. Was the Tom pushes your hens. Like if this is a big Tom and he's a dominant Tom, he'll push his hens, lead his hens in certain directions. And then sometimes you'll get a hen that hears that and just drives her man somewhere else. It's a funny way how that women have
I think
an easy way.
You guys were up high too.
Yeah,
and
observation.
And your decoys weren't visible to them.
It's very true.
So maybe if he had seen something, he'd have come in.
And he saw movement really quick, and there's no way you could compete with that after he's looking at something. He's gobbling at us. I think he gobbled twice within 60 yards, 70, 60, 70 yards.
And that's not a bad first impression for you.
No.
On
it got it going.
That's a great thing you did to show him.
At that point, though, we knew where the turkeys, we watched them leave, and they go down this little gully, and we had seen them kind of the night before as well. So we had an idea of where they were headed. And up the road from us, there was an intersection on this dirt road where it looked like they'd cross. And Sloane knew that because he told us the night before when we were scouting, hey, look at all these tracks. And we went and we could see that. And then we're like very unselfish, Mike and I. We're like, we have magnanimous souls, and we're very giving. And we're all about the team and killing turkeys. I don't have to kill one. It doesn't have to be Mike.
Brotherly love.
It can be Jordan or Sloane, too.
This was a game plan. We're here to knock down birds.
To knock down birds.
Doesn't matter who it was. A club.
So picture this, folks. There is a route back to the roosting tree. Mike and I decide we're going to hunt about 200 yards to intercept them from the tree, 200 yards from the tree. We're going to get them on their way back. But there's this other spot where we know they're also traveling that Jordan and Sloane will probably intercept first. So by the time we get them, they'll have already been shot at and scared to death. But I honestly, truthfully thought they probably won't intercept them.
No, we were deep down. We were like, they flank to the right.
Yeah, you guys were hoping they were just going to keep coming on that back side.
But I was hoping, truly, some would swing by you, and then some would swing by us. Or they'd be really calm, even though you shot some, which sort of, kind of. But so with that, we set up for the night and got in position, and you guys
cleaned house.
Yeah. Jordan and Sloane.
Well, I'll give you props. Listen, was that not teamwork or what?
We made a good call.
Teamwork.
That was a team call. Yep. We had a 50-50.
We outsmarted these guys.
Yeah, that wasn't.
You can't trust a marketing team.
The marketing team was
it's influencers against marketing. Marketing will always win.
We knew because of the impressions in the sand.
So we did. We had a 50-50 shot.
So people can see this.
Sloane?
There's a corner.
Yeah.
Like picture a block.
Picture Walgreens. And there's Walgreens, and we're on the corner of happy and happy.
The block was hot.
The block was so hot. We were like Jenny from the block.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
God dang.
You guys are popping, man.
What was so great, too, as you and I were sitting there, is we had set up our decoys, and we had set up one bird that was kind of a strutter, and then we had a couple hens, and they were looking right at us. But we put it right on that corner so that these birds could see
these birds. It, man.
And we ended up calling it the Turkey Factory because it literally was an assembly line. Just one after another. Here they
Bring
come.
them through.
Yeah. What? Tell everybody what happened.
So we were sitting there. We'd only been there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. We were playing Dunes on our phone, probably talking about things we shouldn't have been talking about. And we were in the new Primo surround view blind. So, and Jordan's left-handed, I'm right-handed, so we're sitting facing each other. We both have great angles, shot angles, and we can also see behind the other person.
You're watching a corner of Happy and Happy.
Yeah. And it was, so 3 Jakes came in. And I said, Jordan, you've got 3 Jakes coming in because I could see they were behind him. Ice cold. Just ice in the veins. Jordan grabs his bow. No problem.
Killer
They come
out.
in. He draws perfectly right when they're behind the bush. And they all 3 crossed behind the strutter.
Yep.
And Jordan plucked the last one.
Yep. He held up for just a hair because I actually was on the lead one. And as the lead one was coming across, the second one came behind, and I thought, wow, 2 for 1. I was about ready to let it buck and just see if I could stroke both of them. There's a 2-fer, but then all of a sudden they and the next one came by, and it was like, all right, he's there, and he held up for a hair of a second. That's because I could tell right away.
Yeah,
and you had mentioned earlier, we had talked about earlier that these birds, you've hunted them for like 3 years, and they haven't been hunted by many people, haven't seen many decoys, or been called by a turkey whisperer for that matter.
Yeah,
and so they were kind of wanting to. They were curious, but they weren't stopping.
They were Jakes too.
They were Jakes.
It was a strutter. It was down.
Yeah, they get.
So I ended up pulling the trigger on that one, and boom, smacked him, and then he took off, and we knew he was down. And this is what I love about archery turkey hunts. When you shoot them with a shotgun, boom, you could blow everything out.
Yeah.
When you shoot him with a bow, those 2 Jakes started beating him up.
They
started beating. They had no idea. Like, what's wrong with you, dude? And they start beating him up. And this poor dude's just like, bro, I just got shot. I don't even know what just happened. And sure enough, we don't even have to get out of the blind at that point.
No, we didn't. We knew he was down, so we just kept sitting.
Yeah.
Even if they're down in front of you, you can leave them, right?
I think that's even best. A bird comes in there, and I like him if he flops a couple more times. It's on, Jack.
Live
It's
action.
on.
See, turkeys have no souls. That's why people are so...
Twitch.
No.
Throw a rock at that thing. Make it move.
You can take a 2-for-1 with the turkey.
Yeah,
and
you can.
it's just like, it's so odd.
It is.
We
odd.
got that text, man, and we were
we were getting texts about.
We were truly pumped.
We were on this big group text with Matt and David and Keith and Mike Shea from Sports and Field and Stream.
Yep.
And we were all just having a good time. And then once we kind of put that out there, everybody's
Party
excitement.
started,
well, right?
but shortly after
we're
that,
expecting, by the way, after you've shot at them, for them to funnel back to
you
the
guys.
roosting tree and give us a shot, right? And then
and
in
those
the meantime,
Jakes, they ended up heading the wrong way.
Yeah, they went east.
Yeah, they went east instead of coming to you guys. But then shortly after, again, the assembly line, he's on deck now.
Yes, we were going to alternate.
That's awesome.
That's how we got to an alternating point. That's how good it was. And he comes up, and all of a sudden we're sitting there. I saw the Tom, and all I remember saying to him is he sees these hens come across the backside, and there's what was there, 1 Jake with them, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, dude, they're gonna go to Gritty and Mike. Like,
I think I
they're
even
gonna
texted
get
you like,
some.
yeah, they're coming your way.
Hey, they're coming your way. But then all of a sudden I look and I go, dude, there's the Tom. And then what happened?
He came right down the road, right to the decoys, like they're supposed to do.
Yeah. He flexed up on it.
He kind of like 3/4 strut.
yeah.
He didn't go
when he was
full wide, though.
halfway. He was like, whew,
the shoulders
halfway.
go
Yeah, he's
forward,
like, whew.
little 3/4.
And he gives it about a 3/4, and he's coming in, and you just know.
Yeah, it was.
And he was, dude. Watching him. Keep
Sloane.
telling him, but just watching Sloane's excitement was so much
You
fun.
can't
Like a
stop
kid
it.
in a candy.
I even said to
Yes.
Jordan when they were
Yeah.
coming in, I said, Jordan, I'm so jacked right now.
That's it.
And I can't do anything about it. I can say breathe, do
adrenaline.
I still
That's why
can
we do
like
it.
manage my processes and everything, but there's nothing I can do to my heart rate.
Nope.
And if I lose that, I don't know. It's not.
That's
as
what
fun.
I think. That's what it's all about. And you still, to this day, I still get it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many turkeys I've killed. It's not an incredible amount, but it's enough that I still consider myself that I've sort of I've done my work. I've done a lot of homework with it. But man, every one. It doesn't matter if I kill it or not. I get just as jacked.
Yeah. And I can
see that bird
I can
do
attest
this.
to that because
Yeah.
I've been in the blind with Mike. Mike gets jacked.
Yeah.
He gets jacked, which is fun. It makes it
if
really
I lose
fun.
that feeling, I don't know if I want to do it
No,
anymore.
dude, it gets me pumped,
Yeah.
man.
You were so jacked, though.
I was
because
jacked.
It all happened so fast, and that's turkey hunting a lot of the times, is it just happens so fast. And he was coming on a string to that strutter.
Yeah.
And
So he
then
came in.
As he came in.
Yeah, he crossed behind. He went to where there was a bush in between me and him, so I was able to draw back.
Yeah.
I'm shooting a back tension release, first time on an animal. I've shot with it for maybe a month or so.
Is that what you were shooting with?
I'm prefacing this. I'm rolling out the excuses slowly.
Yeah, well, here's another excuse for you. I know you were going to use that, and I took it. I left my release at home.
I was honestly going to shoot the back
it,
tension.
I was like so bummed. I'm like, here I am, left my release at the house, and Sloane gives me his trigger. And I'm thinking, all right, whatever.
No, I was going to use the back
All
tension.
right.
That was my
Go
plan.
ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so he passes by. I draw. He goes behind the decoy. I'm like,
And
all right,
at this
here's
point,
my
he's
shot.
at full strut.
Yeah.
He's
he
ready
did.
to come around and face
He
the
did
decoy.
come in a full
he
strut.
came in
Very
at
good.
full.
We have the video.
Man.
It's sweet.
And
Were you a full draw, you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was at full draw when he got behind the decoy.
Okay.
And I let it rip, and I thought it was a good hit.
Yeah.
I'm shooting a fixed blade. I'm shooting my elk setup.
Yeah.
I should have been shooting mechanical, a big cutter.
It helps.
Just gave him a little haircut.
And we thought we did think right, like when it all happened, because it happens fast.
You said
We
good
thought,
shot.
I'm like, dude, that's a good shot, because I was filming. I was like, that's a good
We
shot.
heard it. We heard it hit
And
the
he
bird.
pops up, and then he comes down,
And he just strolls off.
and then he just like got
And
it.
I kept waiting for him to tip and top. No, nothing. No.
Well, you knew it didn't take you long to realize that it
He was fine.
Yeah, because we saw those birds.
Yep,
It
they came to
worked
us.
like it was supposed to.
And Jordan
there you go.
filmed it on his cell phone, which is, I don't love
That's-
technology in hunting, but that's nice to be able to play it
Oh,
back.
for an
No.
instant
Stuff.
instant
Yeah.
replay.
Yeah.
And that's what we did is
That's
we went back
awesome.
and looked at it, and we saw it was low right, and you completely missed it, and you gave him a
You
haircut.
just hit
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah,
Just feathers.
just feathers.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that guy went the right direction.
Yeah.
You guys saw him later, right?
They
Yeah.
really did exactly what
Yep.
we were anticipating them to do.
And there was
So it
those.
worked out.
It's some listeners are probably going to say, "Wow, Jordan, really? You're going to use this analogy?" It's like the highs and lows of elk hunting, It's like, and they call turkeys the poor man's elk.
Oh,
So-
come on.
know,
boys.
rightfully so, though.
So all of a sudden we go from
Wait,
this
you don't
high,
like that
I
analogy?
shoot mine.
It is exactly what it is.
Sloane
It's turkey
Gray.
on steroids, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, we're from
No,
the East
no,
Coast.
no.
Oh, come on.
An elk is a turkey on steroids?
Well, no, a
A
turkey.
turkey is an elk on steroids.
Something. Whatever you want to do. You give a little
Basically-
turkey the steroids, and he becomes this giant elk screaming at you to call him in, and you try to shoot him within 20 yards, right?
I mean,
In
yeah,
your
it's
face.
very similar tactics.
It is. Okay.
Except you
All
have
right.
no control of anything outside the blind. You can't get out and make a move on him. That's
Well, you can, just like you can
yeah.
with
How'd
elk.
that go for
but
you
it
tonight,
didn't-
Gritty?
It was not bad.
We'll definitely
I mean,
talk about that.
I
because
would
we
like
did.
to do it again.
We couldn't contain the gritty.
I know.
Can't contain him.
Did you now when his bird came down? What did you guys get an opportunity to shoot at him? Was that the one you shot at?
Let's talk about the
He got shot.
opportunity.
He got a haircut from him, and then did you give him a haircut?
What happened that night?
They come in like a rape date. Remember that?
Like, what?
Can you say that word? Can you say that?
Pretty much that night, they were all too skittish and freaked
Once
out.
they had got down
Yeah,
there, right?
they were like, they just shot over the
Yeah,
top,
it was
top
just-
and
they didn't slow
yeah,
down.
they were not in the mood at that point. But you guys weren't done yet.
No. And
Because,
I got to tell you, that blind that we were in,
Yeah.
the next part of our story, like I can attest to this new blind, which can you just real quickly describe the blind?
Yeah, so it's Primos's new surround view blind. It's just like it's a double bowl blind, so it's a. I think the double bowl is the best
By
blind
far
out there,
on the
but it's got like this transparent mesh, so where you can see out, but nothing can see in. So
It's like
Jordan
those.
and I are-
It's like those windows at a cops or a police station.
Yep.
Like you can
So
see
you
in,
can
but
shoot
not-
anywhere you want, and they just can't see in, but you can see out.
Yeah.
And so you where you guys are sitting in a blind and yours is all blacked out except for your windows.
We've got
We can see above our windows at everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
that's
then
a
we also
huge
have
advantage. Plus,
Yep.
it gives you a lot of shot opportunities.
Well, you know how we were peeking.
I mean, you still got to shoot
out,
through your
you're
windows.
still-
But
You still have to
can
shoot
see.
through your windows, but
you
you
know when
have-
stuff's coming.
Oh, yeah.
And that played into what happened next because like we were playing our phones. You know, he's actually reading in the blind Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willingham.
Nice.
So we ended up having a good discussion about Extreme Ownership.
We did, and then all of a sudden I get the death grip on my thigh. Jordan goes, 1. He goes, 2 times. 3 times. 4 times. 2 Jakes. 4 times and 2 Jakes. Sloane there right there. Don't move.
That's exactly how it goes.
And then it was kind of a stare down for a little while. We heard 1 putt. And so we knew they were a little nervous.
Yeah.
I think they saw Jordan move his leg around. He has his legs crossed. And
because we saw them. I saw them because if we were in a regular blind,
Wouldn't happen, huh?
we wouldn't have
It'd been
saw
like-
them. They would have been too soon.
Yeah.
Or too.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
they were
too
10
late.
yards. They were 10 yards.
And with a
They
bow,
Yeah.
gentlemen, that's just
Yeah, we don't have shotties.
No,
like this
it's
is.
not a-
So I literally grabbed his leg because we were like having this discussion about Extreme Ownership. We're talking about the podcast and Jocko
Jordan.
and it was 420. Jocko had posted a
Oh, he did, yeah.
picture
He posted
Jocko
of his
watch.
of his watch that said 420 and tagged Joe Rogan in it. And literally, I just grabbed his leg and I just said, "Don't move." And I counted out, and then all of a sudden, he's like, "What are we gonna do?" He wanted so bad to turn around and
I said,
see
"Can I turn
because he's like, "Can I turn around?" There's 4 toms. I'm like, "Dude, there's 4 redheads. They're toms. They've got Bob Rosses hanging from the tree. These paintbrushes are gonna make happy little clouds. We just have to stay still." Right? I go instinctively into just, killer mode. And I grab my bow, and he's still sitting there wanting to turn around. And I'm like, dude, just don't move. Yep. You can't watch this, because your movement is going to set him off. Well, they actually started to back off. And then what happened?
I think you were able to get to your box call and let off a quick call.
Yeah, I knew
and
that.
then they kind of calmed down, and then they were like, all right, let's go check these decoys out.
Because they were interested in the decoys, just like the other ones, but they were also kind of like, they're not moving, nothing's happening, there's no sounds. And so that's when I kind of made a call to say, these guys are curious, they're just kind of leery, and so I need to make them feel a little comfortable. And so I sent a few calls out, and all of a sudden,
Nailed it, man.
All right, yeah, let's go check this out. And sure enough, the biggest one of them took the lead for the rest of them. And at that point, that's when I came to full draw.
Once he saw it, didn't he just charge in at that decoy?
No,
He came in a little soft.
Okay. That's right.
They
that's
came in
right.
super
Jake
soft.
did.
Yeah. Jake's came in hot. His came in hot. These ones were like, what's
Larry.
going on?
Yeah.
Big group of them.
Yeah.
And I had ranged. What was good is I always do a pre-range. I ranged everything to kind of get an idea around
Happens quick.
Yeah,
Avoiding that
because
like-
it always
You've seen.
happens quick.
Yep.
And so instantly I knew he was on the backside near this fence line, and so I knew that was 30 yards. So I had my 1-pin slider. I just hurried and went to 30, drew back, settled in, and thwack. And sure enough, just like the first bird, bam, smacked him. He jumped over. And then
Over the cattle guard,
the cattle guard, and then the rest of them kind of followed, and then they all went down to you guys.
Yep.
And he held up, and that was
Pretty much, we got all your leftovers.
yeah.
And they
we
were-
got our sloppy seconds.
And
seconds.
they were
Yep.
useless at that point.
Yeah, it was.
Frazzled nerves.
It was
And
so
You guys could have changed your spot, though.
yeah.
And I
That's
wonder
so
that.
true.
But I love the consistency.
we-
Yeah.
what
Staying
it
in
was
the same
really
spot.
Yeah, that was a tough choice, right? Because we saw what they were doing. They were in that bottom. They liked. It was a great.
You can't
little
fault
watering
us for
hole.
staying in the
No,
same
your
spot.
odds are
We got
good there.
shots.
Hey, consistency
I
kills.
just didn't
Well,
shoot
what
one.
it turned out to be is it actually turned out to be the.
I mean, let's just
Let's
be
talk
real.
about that.
What do we? Yeah.
I missed twice.
I did too.
Both times, though, for me, we stayed the whole time we hunted near the roost tree, and our opportunities
Our
came
mornings,
in the 2
right?
mornings.
Yeah.
So we never had good luck after you guys shot the heck
Unless
out of
they're
them,
birds.
or
Yes.
Matt Davis or
Right.
anybody else. At night's useless. We're on the wrong end of the
You were on
deal.
the wrong end of the deal.
They get shot at over here, and by the time they get back toward where we're at, they're just like skittish. They're like they want nothing.
we
to
were
do
the
with us.
morning.
So-
we are
But in the morning, it's
spot.
ideal.
Yeah.
And they flew down from their roost in the morning. And the first morning, we had the sex machine decoy, which
That's what we're calling it.
yeah,
It's not a real
The
sex
mating
machine.
Jake.
it's
Right.
it's the mating Jake. So he's standing on top of a hen, and it looks
Bless you.
it looks pretty dang real. And he's mounting this hen, and there's a little string, And
I'm tugging on my string in the blind.
Yeah, and he's pulling on the string, and it makes the Jake hump up and down.
I've got to hear your side of the story, though.
So give it, man.
Give the deets on what happened, because this was the morning.
This was the first morning.
It's the first morning we've ever
sat that we wanted.
Yeah, that's what we wanted, was to be there in the morning. So this is it. It's game time.
The wind was right, stayed out of the north, I believe, and we thinking, hey, they're going to pitch down on that south side. Whatever reason, they came in pretty hot. I mean, they came in. Like, here they come running. We're like, man, you got to get ready. Get ready. He's, I don't know who you're messing with, but I said, Gritty, get ready. Grab your bow, man. So we look over, and
what was Gritty doing?
I don't know if he was fumbling with the camera or he's knocking an arrow. I said,
camera.
What are you doing?
And the thing is Mike does that every time, no matter what.
But I'm telling him this, and I'm saying, all right, take your time. Just take your time, right?
Yeah.
So, long story short, I peek my head out of the blind, dude, and here they are in midair. I mean, these birds are at probably 10 yards in the air, and our decoy is another 10 yards to our right. They're coming from the left. And I said, here they are. Don't move. And he says, can I draw? I said, no. And let's talk about that a little bit. You guys had the opportunity to draw before these birds were coming in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to also say, I watched the footage.
Yeah.
That Keith took.
Yeah.
And I thought he was playing it at like 1.5 times the actual pace.
No,
like I thought he was speeding through it, and I was like, no, that was real time.
You talking about coming in hot? Like, it's been a little while since and you got 3 birds coming in and gang banging their boy that is taking their woman, and it was not good. Okay. It wasn't a happy situation.
From my perspective, I'm sitting there with bow in hand, and I'm sitting here and I hear birds. I hear flapping wings.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's 10 yards to our left.
For 1-2 seconds, 1,000, 2 1,000, and then I see 3 birds land on that decoy and start beating the crap out of it.
Ready? Take your time. Just take your time. Ready? Take your time. Take your time. Nice and easy, right up the legs. Yeah.
And I'm wanting to draw my bow.
And this is where
I want to draw my bow as soon as I heard the sound. So I'm just there and ready to shoot one. And Mike's like, hold on, let him get comfortable. Let him beat this decoy. Take your time.
Yeah.
Pick a spot. Make a nice shot.
Down the road, this is where I made a mistake. Because for one, you can't contain a killer. There's an instinct. But for me, with being experienced, he was looking at me as okay, I'm going to respect what you're telling me. He asked me, can I draw? I said, no, let him chill out. A lot of the opportunity you have in there, they get relaxed. They'll strut, they'll turn. As soon as they strut and turn behind you, you got all the time in the world to draw. Settle in, take your time, place that shot, follow the legs up. I like these certain shots, and if you take your time, you can do it. Well, we didn't have. We can look back at the film, but I can tell you right now, I don't think it was 3 seconds.
You didn't have time.
Yeah,
and that was the thing. Situationally, you were making a good call because you're like, from experience,
right?
Because I've been in the same situation.
Right.
When they get into those decoys and they're able to settle in and kind of fan, or if they're beating something up, they may back out a little bit and then they'll come back around and beat it up again. And you've got
opportunity to do it.
In your case and in our situation, this whole week, it was not what we've been used to.
That. Yeah.
Well, one of the things is I'm sitting there and I would love to draw my bow and shoot this turkey, but at the same time, we got film rolling and 3 birds just flew in and beat the crap out of our sex machine. And I'm sitting there going,
Mike's pissed. He's like, dude, that's mine.
And
I brought that here.
And
leave him alone.
I'm sitting there thinking to myself,
oh wait, we got a better one.
I'm sitting there thinking to myself that this turkey is, I wanted to see it fan. I want to see more fighting. I want to see, and I'm thinking the camera's rolling.
You're enjoying it. I know.
I'm enjoying it, and I've never been this close
to
turkeys before. I've never seen this behavior. So I have all these mixed emotions. Like, if I shoot one, it's over. If I let them just do their thing for a while, I get all this cool video. I get to watch animals that I've never seen, which I'm fascinated by their behavior and what they're doing.
It's a gorgeous animal, man.
And I'm like in it. And as soon as they hit it, whack it a couple times, I'm sitting there, and one of the birds is like, I don't like this. And I see I don't even know turkeys, but I saw his body language, and I was like, they're leaving. And I drew my bow, and they were out.
You got it. And so I'm thinking about the scenario we're in, and why did this happen? I mean, we are okay. So let's talk about.
I did let a shot go as I was walking.
Yeah,
but I had my back tension, my hinge release, and they're on the move, and it was really fast. And I'm like, well, I did the best I could. I missed, but I was kind of frustrated because I could have shot a couple of those turkeys when they landed because they puffed up, and I had about 2-3 seconds where I could have settled the pin and shot.
Well, that's what the hardcore guys do. They want them to come in. They want them to jump. You want to shoot them off the top of your decoy.
Yeah,
it's kind of the dream scenario, right?
Yeah.
That's
and
exactly
I was
right.
getting excited about that.
I couldn't believe it happened so quick. I started running through all this process in my head. I'm going to set up a scenario for you. So we've got our blind set up, and then 10 yards probably on a 45-degree angle to our right, 10 yards, we have our decoys, which is a little close. I'd like to get them out 13, 14 yards.
Yeah. That was one thing we kind of figured. Maybe we made a mistake on putting the decoys a little close to the blind.
But here's the next one. 20 yards exactly to us. We have David D. Austin, the photographer, in a blind, and we've got them splitting the middle. So these birds are 10 yards from us both.
And David's moving with his camera. I'm moving with my bow.
It was a tough
We got a guy with a call here.
They're literally in this gondola, and they're like, what did I just get into?
That's exactly
It's just a lot going on. And part of that's when you're filming, it adds a whole different level of commitment to the hunt because it's just hard. It's hard to capture the footage you want to capture. You put multiple blinds in the same spot. You have movement that you're risking by putting that camera lens right out in front. And there's lots of times where I saw David and I'm like, if a turkey doesn't see him, he might as well be wearing Christmas lights and like flashing.
Yeah, because in our situation, we had like no cameras. It was all just, they're here.
Yeah.
Get the bows. And then you guys were working with a lot of pieces, a lot of mechanics, especially with your setup. And I'm not saying this to say that there's any excuse on why you guys did get one. That's just a really cool experience. I've been a part of that.
Well, it wasn't over.
Where it's like
it wasn't over yet because they just started strutting, hanging out behind, and I got to see Mike work all these calls, and they were like making all these sounds and walking around. There's a couple of hens milling, and then one of the toms went up on top of the hill, and he fanned and walked back and forth for 30 minutes.
Yeah, he was
30 minutes or so.
He was cruising,
and I was like, this is going to happen. They're going to come back in, and they did not want to leave the sex machine. They were totally into it. So we sat there, and you kept working.
Yeah, there was a hen she got really hot, and then if you get these dominant hens, it's like the boss hen. That's their name in turkey terms. She got red hot, so I just started yakking back at her. You can usually get in this little pissing match with this thing.
Yep.
And if you can draw some of these hens in here, if a tom sees that and you got a strutter over here mounting this other one, you're good. Okay?
And that's what we did last year. We had that success with the hens.
Yeah.
Like you can get real aggressive with them when they're in the roost.
It's in the right time. Right? Yeah. Well, it depends. They could be on the ground.
And so
a lot of times they'll fly the opposite way. You got to read that bird, and it's hard. That's
how we had our success last year. Was getting those hens fired up,
and the hens would
the hens would pitch first.
Yep.
And then the dominant tom's going to come right after her, so she's going to come in. And
so that's what led to our second opportunity. You saw her. I'm like, here she comes. I was like, this is going to happen. I saw the tom strutting. He got down on a 3/4 strut, started walking the little shoulder wobble they got, and I said, get ready, he's coming. He walked so gently. I said, this is your bird. I literally said, here you go. This is the one you're going to get. He comes walking across the pond. He didn't rush in. Here he comes.
He's coming to kick this thing's butt.
Yeah, it was on. He was bowing up. I'm like, this is going to be perfect. You're going to be able to. He's going to take there and strut, and you're going to be able to get your shot.
And let's make sure we inform the audience that this is the same bird that Sloane shot the night before.
Yeah, that's what we think. We think it was a dominant bird.
We called this bird the barbershop.
The barbershop. I put my one guard on my trimmer.
Well, so did I. Just wait for the rest of the story.
You both are barbers.
So here he comes. He's walking across this creek, and he's like, "Should I draw?" I was like, "No. This is it." And same thing. Here you go. Can't contain a
I
killer.
knew he was coming. I really wanted to be at full draw, so there's no movement at all. As soon as he comes into the view of the blind, I'm just going to shoot him.
You could have crushed him.
You know, and I was impatient because I just had this opportunity snatched from me, and so I'm like, I don't want to watch the fanning. I don't want to watch him beat up the decoy. I don't want to watch this crap. I just want to shoot this bird. And Mike's like, no, just wait, be patient. He'll come. He's coming in. This bird is gonna give you some time.
He's gonna do what we need to do.
And not so much.
What happened? So the bird comes in. We're literally 6-7 feet from this bird. Okay, he comes in. I'm thinking, dude, this guy's walking.
And I was sitting there in the blind, and I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm waiting to see him. And Mike can see him the whole time, right? I'm like, cool, this is awesome. I just see this red head like on a periscope with his dorky head sticking up. And as soon as it pops into view of the blind, I felt like he was looking inside the window.
Yeah,
he's literally
it was
the blind.
Instantly.
He was so close, and he like turns and looks at my face, and he's like, no. And he just turns and runs. I'm like, I was a statue, dude.
That was this morning, right?
No.
That was the first morning.
That was this first morning.
Yeah.
That was that.
So I didn't get that bird either. And I got a little pent-up frustration. And the nights, like we said, sucked. So the next morning we went out there, I really wanted to kill a turkey. So I just shot the freaking decoy.
Really?
No, let me. Oh my gosh! So here I am.
Dude, I
got
pinwheeled it.
brand new decoys.
Okay, I just want to shoot. I just want to shoot a turkey.
And
okay?
I've never seen anybody that really draws back and checks everything, every angle, which is cool, right? But I mean, we're talking about 8 or 9 times, not talking a couple times. It's like, Gritty, all right, don't shoot my decoy. I hear click. He's got this hinge, right? This hinge releasing your click. I'm thinking
the knock on too smooth.
Like, Gritty, don't. He's pretty good about it, letting it down. Well, on about the 5th, 6th time, he's hitting back here. He's like, okay, yeah, we're still good. I said, yeah, you were good about 10 clicks ago.
No, but what I want to do is figure out where to aim on a turkey. And
that's
he
what
had
you were
this
doing.
sexy beard coming out, and you showed me those videos where the triangle comes and you shoot just above the beard and the chest. I'm like, that's where I'd put it. If I were I'd just back tension. I'm visualizing. Like, and that's where and then whack! Oh, this really happened! Oh my God, dude!
Yes.
How am I finding out about this?
Well,
now?
yes,
dude,
it was pretty top secret.
I drilled that
Gritty
sucker.
said, "I'm
It was
gonna
a
another
perfect
decoy, I promise
shot.
you."
So our camp got
not
2
bad.
real
It goes-
turkeys
yeah,
and
Those
1
TS
decoy.
It goes
are
whack!
so pliable.
And David Yostin's like, what? He's looking around. And I'm like, no, nothing. False alarm.
Yeah, so we had
Dude,
the
that's
first
fun.
Isn't it?
That's
It's
funny,
awesome.
man.
I
Yeah.
didn't know about
Your
that.
first
Oh,
turkey's a
that's
decoy.
It looks so real. I feel satisfied.
Those are legit
Yeah, they are
decoys.
DSCs.
See,
Those
what I'm
DSCs
telling
are
you is,
super
if
sweet.
I
Got it
just
going
could
on.
get one to sit still, I'd shoot one.
Well, he did.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fake
You had
we could keep
fun.
telling turkey stories
You
over
had
and over
fun.
again. I
Yeah.
did. And tomorrow is the last day. Maybe we'll get it done.
Yep.
But what I wanted, I had a couple other things I want to cover. But one of them is Sloane. You've never hunted with Jordan before,
I haven't.
right? So it's first time hunting with Jordan. I've hunted with Jordan a few times, and I have an opinion, and I'm curious about yours. What's your opinion? Now that you've hunted with Jordan as a hunter, what's your thoughts?
Well, I was really hoping that he would cry after he shot the turkey.
He does
I
that
was hoping
sometimes.
for-
I've
I
been
know.
there.
He has a tendency. I've seen some of it.
But I don't know if he has. Turkeys don't have souls, so people don't.
Yeah, there's like that disconnect. 'cause
Yeah, it's
a
like a
bird.
fish or a bird. Like people don't feel any motion. Now, if it's furry, it's one step closer to sorrow and not regret, but
Remorse.
remorse a
Yeah.
little bit, or I don't know what the word is. But turkeys, it's like killing a chicken. Nobody cares. Nobody. And that's just sad truth. If it's a bear or a wolf, you're probably going
Crossed
to
the
hell.
line. Yeah.
So he didn't cry.
Okay, so you didn't cry.
No, he didn't.
Not a tear was shed.
Maybe he did, like when we were recovering
Inside.
the bird, and he was like away.
Inside.
He had a moment where I was away, and he slipped a little tear in.
I told you I had to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
That was the reason. I needed a moment.
my eye. No, I had an awesome time hunting with Jordan. We hunted in pairs this whole trip, so for whatever reason, we didn't really plan that out, but it just kind of
it did.
We went
it
with our
flowed
partners
very
and we
well.
stayed.
Yep.
And we did long sits. I had an absolute blast hunting with Jordan. Yeah. One, because he is lighthearted the entire time. Like
hype man.
He's the hype man. We're having fun, you know?
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Us too.
Truly is.
And it's turkey hunting. Like, you can't take it too seriously, you know?
No, they don't have souls.
It's kind of a filler in the spring, you know? Get your fix.
It is.
But, no, Jordan's lighthearted. We were laughing most of the time. We were cutting up. We had deep conversations in the blind. We had funny conversations in the blind. But when he's in the moment, all the emotion goes out the window, and he's stone cold. He's a killer. He's ice cold.
Gotta love it.
So I feel like this is a loaded question.
Kind of is.
There is
so here's the thing. Like, I've hunted with Jordan, and Jordan has not been bow hunting for very long, or hunting for very long, for that matter. Like, when Jordan started mountain ops, he really hadn't hunted much at all before that. Correct?
It was like before I had actually hunted. Yes, a lot, but having the weapon in hand, no. You know,
So
I
you've
grew up
been
with the dad, but it was like sports was the thing. Like, we had podcasted before, and so before mountain ops, I had been bow hunting before we started mountain ops about 3 years prior to that point. So I've been legitimately bow hunting for about 7 years now.
Yeah.
So, you know, not like somebody did it their whole life, you know. And there are, so I've heard. I think people have an impression of Jordan because they see him lighthearted and, you know, and
Jordan,
no
way.
A goof off. And so
we did plenty of that.
But I've hunted with Jordan, and first of all, two things. I've shot bows a lot with Jordan. Jordan can shoot.
Yeah.
And it's annoying.
It's the first time I've seen him shoot, man.
Really well.
I've seen him settle in, and
a lot of people
don't
realize how good of a shot he is. It's probably due to Matt Davis or
Matt. And I honestly, like, before, Matt had a lot to do with that. Like, honestly, like, he sat with me at the range and he went through, and mind you, Matt's a trad guy, but Matt understands a lot. He worked at Hoyt. He's worked with a lot of prolific archers, and he understands the basics as well as, like, how to really.
They just transfer over.
He did. He went through like a few steps and just settled me up. And he's like, if you'll do this every time,
it's
Jordan,
a process. Yeah.
Yeah. If you'll execute this the same,
yep,
you will see consistency in your shooting. You'll feel a lot better, and you'll have more confidence. And if you got a good bow to go with that pair.
So I've seen that, and I've seen Jordan just connect under pressure. When a live animal comes in, yeah, he's nervous. Yeah, there's a lot of nerves, but where I normally, like, Jordan killed his first elk last year, and he made a great shot, and the bull ducked, but still, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Jordan. I mean, because anybody who's out there on their first elk, with the nerves and all that, I expect him to shank it or whatever, or I mean, it's just not very common that someone is able to really connect on that first opportunity that comes up. And I've seen it a couple of times now, and then this weekend is another proof, you know, I've seen it again where you've been able to do that. You were talking, Sloane, earlier about having nerves. No matter what you do, it just keeps coming at you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
Especially if you get to watch the animal come into you.
Yeah.
If you have that anticipation, there's nothing I can do. Like, I still go through my processes and everything, but I can't control my heart rate.
Yeah.
And I'm telling myself the whole time, breathe. And
yeah, and I've talked to a few people recently, and I've said, you know, Jordan's a killer. You don't see it or think it, but he's a killer. I've seen it now, and I'm like,
it's very instinctive to certain people, and when you have it, you have it. A lot of times, you almost have to teach yourself. You have to go through this thing to calm yourself down. Some people lose it. You know, I've seen people. You can hit a target. I mean, 10 ringers, bam, bam, bam. You get a live animal in front of them. It's a different story. It's a whole. It's a lot going on in a short amount of time.
Aggressiveness,
100%.
I actually used to think, as I started to get into hunting a lot more, I always heard the terms, you know, buck and bull fever a lot. You know, like, the shakes, you just shake a lot and all these things. And I remember before that elk hunt in Montana, I had two previous archery elk hunts, one where I did not even let a single arrow fly, and then one that I had let an arrow fly on the last day, and that bull ducked me too, and my arrow missed, but it was on perfect line. And as we'd have talks, they would be like, "Oh my gosh, like you missed the bull. Like, were you shaking?" I was like, "No, not at all." Like and I don't know what it is, Brian. I still can't even pin it because of my personality. Like, I'm very spontaneous. I like to have a good time. There's a little bit of ADD there. And I own that. I love that. It's an advantage for me. But when it comes to that moment, there's zero distraction. I zero in on that, focus. And everything just goes through process. I go back to sitting in wild arrow archery and going through my process, and all of a sudden it's just, okay, go through, draw, settle in, and I just go through this process. And he's sitting, if it's with us, he was 45 yards, he's sitting right there. And I actually used to think that I was like, maybe I shouldn't hunt because I'm not getting buck and bull fever. I felt like, oh, maybe I'm not getting excited. And I do, but when I'm in that moment, it's just... And my brother Casey is the same
jacked.
way.
You're definitely jacked.
I'm super excited, but when it comes time to execute...
But you don't black out.
No, I don't black out.
That's it. Like, there are people who just black out.
Nope.
You don't black out.
I have a friend that hears trains.
Yeah.
Oh, you told us about that.
It just shotgun goes off.
He sees red.
And it's not...
Sometimes
it's more common than not.
Yeah, you hear a lot of crazy stories about that. And in the moment, it is something that we go back and try to live that every time we go hunting. Is it about the kill? No, it's not. It's about those situations you put yourself in, and you're feeling this pull that you want to try to fight. You got this acute situation that's immediately happening. And man, this, whether it's enjoying the nature or you have that split second and here it is, you're going to capitalize it or not.
Right.
And our job as a hunter is to ethically put that animal down as quick as we can. And with that being said, if you do that and you can control that, you're a lot better off. Your odds are way better. And it's something that some people can't control. And I think, like you're describing, this guy is just something about him. We hadn't been that long, 7 years, and he's got it.
Well, there's a lot
of
confidence,
right?
I think, in it. Just naturally in life in general. And then his day will probably come where he starts getting trigger panic and having issues.
It does happen,
and he'll have to fight through that. Like a lot of guys have been doing it for a long time. Switch around releases and whatever. I mean, it just.
It becomes a mind
you have
game
highs
at that
and
point,
lows.
man.
Yeah, you miss
It's
a few,
so
and all
tough.
of a sudden it's in your head, and you're just like sick to your stomach. And then where you were
don't
just
talk to me
drilling
for a few
stuff.
days. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So
even on Blaze, I am just not.
It's funny. It's funny you say that though. It's funny you bring like all that up, but. I always find it a little interesting, people's perception of whoever, whether it's me, whether it's you or that. I've never claimed to be or do or say anything other than who I am. And so I think sometimes this industry has this perception that a stone cold killer needs to be serious, hardcore, and do difficult things.
Or kill giant animals.
Yeah, it kind of becomes the MO. And for me, I think you hit it on the head, and you did too as well, Mike. Just that journey, that experience, and being a part of that, whether success or no success, it's what it's all about. It's about being together and having a good time. But, for me, I appreciate your comment, Sloane. Like, I enjoy having a good time because I live as if, like, we may never see a bird. I live as if we may not have any success when related to an actual harvest or kill. Because for me, I just truly enjoy getting out, as we've done this weekend with you guys, and experiencing that. Because for me, and I know for so many others, like when you think of hunting, you think of hunting camp. A lot of emphasis sometimes is placed on the bird or the elk or the animal, which that's why we're there. But we're also there to be
so
together.
Much more meaning in that, man. And you guys invited me out. Sloane called me up and like, look, you got to come. This is, he told me who. I was like, really, the Mountain Ops guys? Like, gosh, I think I text Jordan. I said, Jordan, are you coming? And you really didn't.
I wasn't even sure at that point.
You weren't
and then we put the full court press on it.
Oh my gosh, full court.
It was needed, and I expected to have a good time, and I knew I wanted to kill some birds. Right, that's why we're here. But there's so much more in this turkey camp. I love going to experience different camps. I've already been to I think 5 of them this year, and I can tell you one thing. And you guys, I'm talking about my turkey wrecking crew up in Nebraska and all the boys. Like, no disrespect at all, but you get something at each camp, right? Mm-hmm. This was one of the top camps. I mean, I say that every time, right? But it truly was. You guys had a blast. You, to me, are what hunting should always be about. We should never lose that. And that's being real. We're here to have a good time. Hunting is to get people outdoors, learn. I'm constantly trying to learn every time I get in the woods. And not even that, enjoy it. And then guess what? You get to bring friends along. That's what's so cool about turkey hunting, right?
That's one of my favorite times of the day
have
of any
some
hunting
fun.
camp is like when everybody comes back together and what did you see?
What
did you see? What did you see?
Yeah.
And piecing it all together and having fun doing it.
It was a blast. You guys got it going on, and it's. Brian, listen.
I have never laughed so hard. Like
he's been doing this to me and cuts me off laughing. He's like this guy, Tom is. Don't do it. You cut me off every time with a laugh, man.
I can't help it, dude.
We've had a darn good time, and then somehow I got a hold of this Blaze. I'm not too familiar with the Mountain Op stuff. I take some supplements, and I know I've known Jordan for a few years now, and we've seen each other at some shows and stuff, and we've always been super cool to each other. But here I am taking some stuff that I'm not really familiar with. And I know what it is, right? It's like these 6-hour energy shots. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know what this is. So I take a Blaze. I'm like, all right, what's this thing all about? Well, I take this thing at, I think, 1 o'clock. I literally said in 15 minutes, I walk out, I'm like, whoa, then we better go, guys.
Like you're ready to go. It's funny because every day of this camp, it's usually Brian that's like, okay, guys, let's go.
Stood at the door for 15 minutes and held it open for me while I got my stuff.
And you kind of said it. You said it. There's one thing that you learned about Brian on this camp is not only his resilience to stick with it. That's one thing I've learned hunting with him is he always wants to he wants to stick with it to the end.
Yep.
He's
I
not
appreciate that. It's hard to find that.
He's not going to accept failure, and he's antsy, and he as much as he likes getting back together, he's really excited to go out. That's Brian's MO, and so it's always funny to see him be the one that we're kind of all ready to go. But then Brian's like, guys, let's go. It's like, bro, where have you been?
Right.
But now he's
met some match.
He's the boss. He's the boss bird.
He's the boss hen.
He's the boss hen leading us all the way. But the thing that I did like that you said, and is that you that gets you going.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is it's gets you a little pickup, and then just your guys' energy. That's only going to just amplify that as well.
That afternoon, you guys the blind was ridiculous.
Hilarious.
You guys were. You thought you were jacked. You have not seen jacked.
No, what I do
guys.
I do get people who've hunted with me a lot.
He likes to hunt afternoons. Like if there's an elk hunt, most people are like, "Well, they're probably in their beds, and we're gonna." And Brian's like, "No, let's hunt the whole day."
Attack.
I told you I was hunting with Sam.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah.
I think I annoyed Sam because I'm like, "Let's go hunt." And Sam's like, I'm taking a nap, or Aaron's like, I want to go back to camp. And I'm like, or go kill an elk, and I have a hard time when people want to, if the killing's not done, I don't want to quit.
Yeah. I experienced that on our deer hunt. It was normally we're very traditional. It's like we hunt from, we get out there at an hour before dark. We hunt until 10, 11,
whatever. Yeah.
Come back, hang out for a few hours. No. Brian's driving around. Somebody's in the bed of the truck, looking down, getting to a high point. We bet a buck. And the next thing I know, I've got my boots off. And we're in Sandburg, city. These things are vicious. And we've got to close the distance on what we think is a deer at 100 yards.
Uh-huh.
And it takes us 2.5 hours.
And I've already tagged out. This is for Sloane.
This is for me.
Oh, my.
See?
I don't know if I want to kill this deer that bad. I've got 150 sandburrs in each foot.
I'm like, just man up. Let's kill this thing.
I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. And I love it. Feeding off that energy. This guy's a sneaky dude.
Well, that's exactly what I did.
Gritty is a very, very
I
sneaky.
did that day in the blind, and that's when I think we turned the tables. You just threw stuff at me, and I'm like, you really going to do this to me?
And another thing I want to say
every time I turn around, phone's in my face.
You get a lot of that. Everything, when you're in camp with Mountain Ops and Gritty Bowmen, everything is on the record.
You got to watch. Watch your back, guys.
But another thing I want to say is after you spend a few days with Brian, every time I do this, I walk away and I'm like, I want to be a better person. You know, like it genuinely, like he's got a good energy about him.
Just like you guys.
We had same with Jordan. I haven't hunted with Jordan before, but like you walk away, they're the good people.
You guys had some awesome conversation, deep, right? Got deep and just got way off topic. Should we really be talking about this, like that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
we did the exact same thing.
Oh yeah,
and we hit all aspects of life and this and
about our Norman friend.
Yeah, you learned about the three
levels.
the 3 degrees of Mormonism. Wow. The ISIS Mormon, the Norman, and the Jack Mormon, and we went through it all.
Well, that's deep.
We talked about 5-year plans, 10-year plans,
career choices,
things I could improve on. That was today's talk.
Yeah,
things I want.
I learned a lot about how to Instagram better, and marketing. This weekend I learned a lot of new things from everybody.
When to post, optimal times.
And I learned that Mike has a sensitivity to blaze. Niacin.
It's funny, like people say that word blazed, and its reference is like,
smoking.
Yeah. And on 420, this guy got blazed.
Listen, I absolutely
of all the days, it was so funny, dude.
And I joke about it and all that, and I hashtag blaze, but I can tell you what, I've had my run-ins when I was younger, and we can joke all about that, but I went almost right back to that with something that you can buy at the store.
That's the whole reason we brought you out here. Mountain Ops is a drug ring. Right. We just gave you a little taste.
Well, here's one thing Here's one thing,
guys. I gotta hang with this crew more often.
Here's
they
one
got the goods.
One thing I've noticed is, on that subject is, there's a lot of. If you haven't had a lot of caffeine or stimulants, you're not a 5 coffee a day or 4 Monster drinks a day or something. When you start using some Mountain Ops, a little bit here and there, it's like, wow, it's great. Like your mind is clear, you're feeling energized, and it's nice.
And you set me up, is what you did.
And you
just tell them what you did.
You drink water.
I
like
do.
you're
I'm
super
a big
clean.
Water drinker.
You don't do
if I drink a soda, I may.
Yeah.
I haven't drank. I've maybe drank coffee, honestly, 10 times in my life.
Wow. Yeah.
I just never.
So when you give a guy like that, or a guy like me who's lived my life pretty much the same way, it doesn't take much, and we're like wired. Yeah. So I usually drink like a half a Blaze shot because
that's what we taught him. Is like maybe next time you'll do half a dose. Let's see how that goes. Maybe we'll go to a quarter.
But like a guy like Aaron Snyder. Who's
he can pound a 12-pack and it doesn't even affect him.
Yeah,
tolerance levels on Aaron is like through the roof.
Yeah.
He's got to use like gigawatts and stuff to get him to like freaking
a few
jacked
cup
up.
of coffees a day, some Copenhagen, and a few other
and
things.
That barely gets him going.
Right.
That's what's amazing.
Well, how does he deal with this? Niacin, is that right?
Niacin.
All right.
He takes some stuff.
Dude,
he takes some
to be
stuff
honest with you, like Mountain Ops' products are very clean.
Yep.
The way that Trevor and our chemists and we build them, they're very performance driven.
Yeah. I felt it.
And what most pre-workouts or niacin products are built is like a super jack. Like they want to jack you up.
It's like the pre-workout stuff, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, like that's what niacin's typically found in. So most people like Matt Davis. Matt Davis will take like a scoop of Yeti and like a bunch of Blaze pills, and he's very tolerant of it.
He's also a big man.
He's also a Gaston. He eats 12 dozen eggs in him every morning.
Right.
And shoots a trad bow just like Gaston. And but that's what everybody is different. Just like you two, a little bit of caffeine. You guys are like freaking bunnies.
Let me tell you something. It lit that blind up. I don't think we did. We didn't see a bird. And my face. Like I said, I'm red.
Well,
I'm a red complexion dude already.
A lot of times too,
sent me over the edge.
If I haven't had enough sleep, I don't really want to eat breakfast in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. My stomach hasn't settled yet, so I kind of lay off that. And the thing about Blaze that's kind of nice is if you have some of that. It suppresses your appetite a little bit. It's got appetite suppressant.
African mango extract that helps suppress a little bit, so you can.
And you noticed that
control
this
your
morning.
intake levels.
I did. That's why I said, Gritty, I need something.
He needs a Blaze.
And then I started
I'm pulling out of my pack because I'm his dealer.
He's letting me have my first Blaze at 9:30, guys.
Here's your dose.
Thank you, Gritty.
Half is all you get. I'll be back for payment later.
All those all-day sits. And I ran out, and I had to get out because even a half I had to.
Sometimes I'll get a little hungry, a little blaze shot, and I'm not
scratching.
Like today, you came back. We were here.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Where's Brian?" He's still in the blind.
Yeah,
he will not leave. There's an opportunity waiting him. But for me, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna take a nap. Maybe get some food. I'll go back and get them some food. That was funny.
You had a 5-star guide service.
You did.
Was,
like Mike was your man.
Chauffeur.
He came back and
delivered right to the blind.
When it's hunting time, like I appreciate a good nap and all, and
no, we knew what we had to do.
I just have a thing where,
we're
that's
on a
fun
mission
for
at
me.
that point.
Sitting in the blind is not hard for me. Sitting in a tree stand all day long is not hard for me.
I asked Mike when he came back today, I said, what does Gritty do to occupy his mind when he's in the blind? Is he on his phone the whole time? What's he doing? He's like, yeah, a little bit, but he's kind of just looking around. And
we talked and talked and talked. His phone didn't work that well at all. He wasn't really even in the chain. That's why.
And I also asked that
when he's in the chain. When he's in the chain, it's fun.
I had no cell coverage. We both have Verizon. We're sitting a foot apart. My phone doesn't work down there. His does. I don't know what the heck's going on. I was pissed off.
So I have a quick question. Is kind of like just for you two.
Yeah.
What and starting with you. Kind of to wrap this up all together, I think we've touched on a lot of things. And if there's anything else, Brian, that you want to touch on, then, interject. But what are, just for the listeners, and this doesn't have to be anything specific, I guess just let it come from the heart, but what are some final thoughts or maybe some final takeaways for you from this camp, this experience, what we've done this week, or maybe something else?
Well, there's
share with everybody.
Yeah. What brought us out here is a turkey, right? So we did, and we did. We had a mission completed. We actually made a battle plan, and it came together. We were able to harvest not one but 2 birds, and it didn't matter at that point. We're all in this as a team, and that's the one cool thing about any kind of hunt, right? Like if you guys get together and this is the plan, turkey hunting allows that to happen very easily. Well, then it quickly changed and turned over. We were having some tough luck, and being around you guys just makes me just know how thankful I am to be able to have a group of friends that I'm able to do that with. I've already had a couple camps like this, and it just makes me realize that it doesn't matter if you love the outdoors. Today we have a lot of guys that there's still a lot to kill. And until you get to that point, and I don't know if, some people get it early, and some people, they may never get it, but we're all hunters here. But I think the bottom line was the camaraderie that comes along with this is beyond any turkey or any animal that you'll ever kill. So for me, it was just a blessing to be in camp with you guys. You guys are off the chain. I mean, I joke probably more than I'm not like, I'm a pretty serious guy most of the time, but something about it just brought it out. And it, when you click, it was just a good time, guys. And you guys get it. That's what's important to me. I got some buddies that I can count on my hand. If you got that many good friends, that's pretty cool. And I can count those guys that I can go do that with, and we go have a blast, right? And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's what all about. So with that being said, I just thank you guys, and thank you Sloane for having me out. Family Ranch is incredible, man. I mean, and then to feel this, I feel like a brother. I mean, I really do. That was I got my new boys. That was it was a cool deal.
No, and for me, it's like I have this incredible resource here. I'm so lucky to have it.
Yeah,
this is my happy place. This place means the world to me. And then to be able to share it with guys like you, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put together a little hunt, and I'm going to, and it kind of just like spiraled and built. And I'm like, Brian, you want to come? He's like, yeah, I'll go kill a turkey. And then I'm like, George, I think I reached out to you first, and you're like, nah, I can't do it. But for everybody to come and for Mike to get to come, and then have Mike Shea from Field and Stream, kind of maybe not the ideal crowd for Mountain Ups, but it's a different crowd, and bring everybody together and everybody meshes. We have this common bond. We love the outdoors. We love to hunt.
That's it.
And we bring it together and have a riot doing it. That's what it's all about. And I like to be challenged too. And this was definitely a challenging hunt. Like, yeah, sure, it'd have been cool to just whack them and stack
waylay some birds, right?
Yeah, but it was just as much fun trying to figure them out the entire time. I wish we had 3 more days because I think we'd get it done, but There's no telling. But yeah, awesome camp. Thank you guys for coming. I'm lucky to be able to share a place like this with close friends like you guys. So
yeah, I feel fortunate. I've spent some time
really good stuff
in this place, and as I was pulling into town, driving in, I was like, man, I love Texas. Like, I love Sloane's family's place. Like, I love the ranch, Soggy Bottom. And I just know I shot my first whitetail with a bow here. And had a blast. That was one of the funnest hunts I did last year, and I never thought that I would be so fond of hunting whitetails. Like, I grew up in the hunt in the West. I mean, hunting elk's kind of a pinnacle experience. Hunting moose, hunting mountain goat, but man, something simple as just hunting in someone's backyard for whitetails, it's just a blast. And here I come down, same thing. I'm hunting turkeys. I don't know a thing about turkeys. They're just turkeys.
Yeah, I don't have that sleepless night before I go out and turkey hunt.
No,
it doesn't get me going.
But I loved this.
Challenge
I thoroughly
accepted, right?
had a blast. And now that I haven't killed a turkey, till tomorrow, of course. But I just like it's interesting. Anytime I go after an animal for the first time, in general, I develop a whole newfound appreciation for that species that I did not have before. And I think there's just something about trying to figure an animal out, understand it, hunt it, see what its patterns are, what its behavior is. You start to figure out what they like to eat, how they breed, all these things about just the world around us. And my understanding of turkeys has never really been invested the time. Through just the last few days has skyrocketed. And now I'm on the phone with my kids and my wife, and they're asking all these things, and they're like, dude, we saw that picture of Jordan's turkey and the head right next to like that Mountain Ops bottle, by the way. Nice plug. And she's like, that head is beautiful.
It's red, white, and blue.
She's like, I didn't know. She's like, I didn't know that it even looked like that. How can you? And I didn't really know either till I was messing around with it because I've never put my hands on a turkey that didn't come frozen in a butterball package.
You've never wrapped your hands around a crunkle?
I never touched a snood or a crunkle. Right. And then the heads are turning red, and then they're white, and then they're blue. Dude,
that's a cool creature.
How come I never knew that?
Dinosaur birds.
Yeah.
They truly are.
And so I find if it's jackrabbits in Arizona, if it's coos deer, if it's whitetails here in Texas, if it's pigs in Texas, whatever that animal is, when I start hunting it, I'm really curious. And now the kids are like, when you get back, we want to like Google all this turkey stuff and learn how they breed, where they lay their eggs, what their evolution is. Are they
a turkey hunter?
Like all this weird stuff. And I just think more people, if people could just get out and experience the outdoors and chase an animal like that, then they'd understand why hunters like to hunt.
Yeah, turkey could be a good segue, to bring in a new hunter. Like there's that
people don't struggle with the soul.
Yeah.
There's probably only two people I know, though. There's probably only two people I know on this earth that will never go turkey hunting. And that's Ryan Avery. Because I got lots of messages this week from him.
Yep. Yes.
And I also got messages from Cameron Hayes.
I expected Cameron.
Yeah. Cameron's comment to me was...
Hasn't Cameron ever... He's killed a turkey before, I think.
I don't know if he has.
No?
I honestly don't know if he has. Every year I kind of joke with him. I'm like,
of course,
hey, you want to go turkey hunting?
Why would you turkey hunt if you could bear hunt at the same time?
That's what he always says. I'm like,
you can
do
both.
That's my thing, too. Like,
and his text was very simple. I said, hey, Cam, let's catch up next week. I'll talk to you. Hey, I'm just turkey hunting. I know you wish you were here. And his next reply was, work greater than turkey. And then I said to him, ha, no, seriously, I bet you wish you were here. And he said, being dead greater than turkey. Like he will never come turkey
every
hunting.
year he posts some meme or something about how turkey hunting's lame.
Yeah, and Avery's the same way. I love both those guys. They're great, but I agree with you guys. I think it's definitely
Aaron whacked
great.
A turkey with his trad bow.
Two.
He got
killed two.
He got
Two?
two. I don't know if I ever heard he
in
retrieved
Nebraska.
it.
He did,
but he
got them both.
Did he get them both?
Yeah,
that's awesome. So Aaron and I both went 2 for 2, but he went a little step further and did it with the trad, which is impressive.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really hoping tomorrow morning that Matt Davis actually gets an opportunity because I know he's aching to let that trad eat per se. But I just want to real quickly say also, just echo the same things you guys said. I really, really enjoyed this camp.
Yeah,
I wish we had more headsets. That David and Keith and Matt and even Mike could be here and be on it, so we could kind of get their take too. But I think the takeaway for all of us was this was a great weekend. I definitely learned a lot from everyone here. Like I learned some stuff this week from Keith. I learned some stuff from David, and just going back to that time well spent. You know, the birds of a feather flock together theory. Like it's true. Like success or no success, and how you define that success is really, I think, dependent and independent on each person and how they wanted to label that. But I had a successful week, not because of those two birds.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I loved spending time with this dude. I was so stoked to get down here and spend time with him, but I really did enjoy time with you guys and you know, learning more about you, your life, who you are, and seriously, like, you and I have only been able to share passerbys and shows, but it's been really good. I really got to know Mike a little bit more on a dude level.
But I
don't, bro.
But I don't think you know Mike, the shark attack Mike.
No, and I think everybody
needs.
So I think everybody needs to hear that part, and that's going to be. Yeah, dude, you guys need to do that.
The photographs are ridiculous.
Yeah,
like Onyx Maps did a story. You did the story.
Was pretty cool. No, actually, Cavan wrote it.
Cavan wrote it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I let him all into that. He asked me. He was calling me all the time, and those guys over there at Onyx did an amazing job with it. He actually interviewed the surgeon, a couple of my buddies. So the story wasn't just out of my mouth. It came from others. Yeah, just right there in the boat.
You've got to do a podcast.
Yeah, I do. I saw the video, though, in the blind. And since I gut animals and take them apart, it didn't bother me too much. But someone who's never seen that, the shark severed his tendons in his hand. Yeah, and the surgeon is playing with the tendons and moving parts of the body.
My boy.
While
like a puppet.
And stitching things together.
I remember when you posted on social media the picture.
Yeah.
I was like, dude. My first thing was like, is Mike okay? Like, but he's posting this, so he must be. Yeah. He's got his other hand to post.
Second time he's been bit by a shark.
I didn't even know he got bit the
twice?
First time. I know. And let alone gets hit by lightning. This bro is like a special breed. Breed of
whatever
awesome.
You want to call it. I mean, it's definitely over the edge, and some people with stupidity. So
tomorrow, you two are definitely doing a podcast.
Because
we have to leave for the airport in like an hour.
Yeah.
I gotta pack.
All right, we got to wrap this up. Mike, where can people find you on Instagram?
It's Mike Massey. So MikeEmassey 561. On Instagram.
What's the 561 stand for? I'm always curious.
Area code. Bro, you don't know that?
Is that
Gangsta style?
Flow
Rider.
561.
What's your tag? I know, like Daytona Beach photo. What do we do for you? You guys all have something down there.
Nah, I'll pass on that.
Do you have a website or any... I know you have a lot of photography on there.
Yeah, I'm really into the photography thing, and I get out, and I'm a little on the... I come from the fishing side, but I... Get out there and check out some photography. I'm pretty new at it, but I love it. And this is what I love to do. So,
all right,
folks,
give Mike a follow.
Make sure you follow Sloane Dog Millionaire.
Sloane Dog Millionaire.
Yeah, dude, he's got some epic videos on his Instagram.
These guys are crazy.
I would say he's a very creative Instagram storyer, but where he lacks is he needs to do more
posts.
Yeah, you're very clever. Like, you come up with things like so fast. Like the way you word
Oh,
things.
Sloane's a smart dude.
Oh, he's sharp. Thanks, guys. He's sharp. So
in some ways, he's real dumb. But
look him up on Instagram and follow his stories because he's a funny dude at Brokeback Media.
All right. Thanks, folks, for joining the Gritty Bowmen.
Well,
stay gritty.
Stay gritty.
Despite our ever-changing, ever-indignant world with its growing ignorance of and indifference to the ways of the wild, I remain a predator, pitying those who revel in artificiality and synthetic success while regarding me and my kind as relics of a time and place no longer valued or understood. I stalk a real world of dark wood and tall grass stirred by a restless wind blowing across sunlit water and beneath star-strewn sky. And on those occasions when I choose to kill, to claim some small part of nature's bounty for my own, I do so by choice, quickly, with the learned efficiency of a skilled hunter. Further, in my heart and mind, I know the truth and make no apologies for my actions or my place in time. Others around me may opt to eat only plants, nuts, and fruits. Still others may employ faceless strangers to procure their meats, their leather, their feathers, and all those niceties and necessities of life. Such is their right, of course, and I wish them well. All I ask in return is no one begrudge me, and all of us who may answer the primordial stirrings within our hunter souls, my right to do some of these things myself.
What you just heard is a quote from M.R. James. We truly live in a world that is largely ignorant and indifferent to the ways of the wild. And although some regard us as relics of a time and place no longer valued or understood, we have the opportunity to change the way these people view the hunter and the hunt. We can share our experiences and nature's bounty with those who employ these faceless strangers. And by so doing, we make a difference, not just for ourselves, but for the wild animals in the wild places we care so deeply about. Never stop sharing your passion for hunting and the outdoors. Our wild animals and our wild places depend on it.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowmen.
Gritty Bowmen.